Hi guys, Mariusz Steckiewicz here. Today we'll talk about the instability elements in the resistance training. No, I'm not referring to loaded squats on the Swiss ball, although that would be a hell of an instability. First of all, I think we can agree that it is a little bit of a confusing topic. And as much as there is a little bit of a gray zone, I will try to cast a bit of light from my coaching perspective. This topic would be too large for one go, so I will split it into a few parts, dividing them by the tools used. That is, chains, resistance bands, and Aqua Bag. Today we'll start with the Aqua Bags, so bear with me, and if you want to check other parts, just follow other parts of the video clip. Okay, so let's dive in. First of all, we need to understand the SAT principle. SAT stands for specific adaptation to imposed demand. To put it shortly, it is a training principle that explains that a certain exercise or type of training produces adaptation specific to the activity performed, and only in the muscles and energy systems that are stressed by the activity. It means that if you want to improve muscular strength, we must stress muscles within the optimal stress building stimulus. If we want to improve the stabilizing function of the joint, we need to create a stimulus that will call for a slightly increased stability demand during the resistance nature of the exercise. If we want to improve proprioception and the neuromuscular control of a joint or kinetic chain, we need to provide a stimulus that will demand an adaptive reactive response to the changeable environment. So if we think about adding an additional stimulus, it should be subtle enough not to compromise the main stimulus we are trying to work on. It may sound complicated, but in fact it's pretty simple. Overcomplicated things or confusing methods don't guarantee success. On the contrary, it can compromise the safety of an athlete, or the least, it just looks silly. I will not talk much more about it, but to visualize the concept of the proper method and the tool selection, I will use a common movement and how we can enhance it or ridicule it. Squat. One of the most important movements to build muscles and strength of the lower body. The stimulus in this case should come from loading the squat to create mechanical stress to the muscular nervous system, affecting the contractile properties of the muscle fiber. This purpose can be only achieved in a stable and predictable environment, unless what we are trying to do is to affect other elements of the squat. What other elements of the squat? Think Olympic weightlifting, like snatch, and the overhead squat being a part of it. A snatch is an excellent tool for power development, not only for Olympic weightlifting, but also for some other sports. But it also demands a wide range of qualities to be performed efficiently and safely. Among them, ankle mobility, core stability, thoracic spine mobility, shoulder mobility and stability, and so on. As much as many of these elements can be trained separately, the stance stability still relies on the firm hold onto the ground, not on Bosu or Swiss ball. But adding some dose of instability to the overhead position and working on the overhead press or overhead squat can work shoulders and core stabilizing function. So to do so, we need to focus on the quality we want to work on and not the entire snatch movement performed under the extreme unstable conditions, or a condition that completely negates the main purpose of the exercise. I have seen on YouTube videos of snatch with the chains. Not quite convinced to what it is supposed to improve, but that's not in my range of exercises. And to be clear, I'm talking about the sport-specific training. Training to develop entertainment skills like circus stands or for self-improvement just because you want to do stuff like that, fine, be. But if you have some solid athletic goals in mind, then that is a huge difference. One more thing before we go any further, please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and push the notification button so you are notified every time I upload some new video. So getting back to Aqua Bags, a relatively new concept of the tool, utilizing an inflatable bag filled partly with water with 2 to 3 holding ways. This training tool works on the premise that the water inside the bag will rush to an end, which is lower than the other one, and this way changes the weight distribution, forcing the body to respond instantly to the new stimulus, to this change. This bag works great for the shoulder and core stability when worked overhead. If performed on a single leg, it will impact ankle, knee, hip, lateral core stability as well. It is a great way to include in the physiotherapy, rehab training or injury prevention training. It can be also helpful with the dynamic movements and directions changes to enhance further stability of the body. But if your goal circles around strength and power and your movements are solid and stable, adding this bag is not necessary. So without more talking, here are some examples of exercises with Aqua Bag which take advantage of the nature of this tool. These were just a few examples of the exercises that, in my opinion, make sense. Thank you very much for watching, and remember to check the other parts of the instability in the resistance training. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to my channel, and see you next time.